Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the first AGR of the 24-25 season alongside my two brothers, Chris and James. My name is Ryan. This is Starcastic Remarks. Thank you for coming along with us for the ride this season. Thank you to our sponsors, DraftKings Sportsbook, and also to Game Time for being our sponsors. Use that promo code THPN the next time you are there using their services. Guys, Dallas Stars win by a final score of 4-3 tonight. Very scary at points. And I think it was Zach in our group chat with the family that put it best that we shouldn't be feeling a little bit of stress here in the first game of the season. Yet that's just the way that it ended up.
Yeah, Stars still took care of business, and I feel like this game really shows why it's so important to score first. I mean, if the Preds score first in this game, it probably looks and feels completely different. But, I mean, the best players for the Stars did what they had to do. 2 goals from the top line. Otter played fantastic. We win the game. That's really the difference, in my opinion. Our top guys are better than theirs.
Yeah, I mean, it really is just it's a great showing of what Logan Stankoven can do on that top line. And a great example of why you keep Wyatt Johnston off of the top line, too. He had some great defensive plays tonight.
Yep.
Y'all are already hitting some really big points in tonight's game. So let's start with the positives. Y'all are already kind of pulling those out a little bit. Let's talk about, obviously, Logan Stankoven. That was the thing that James pointed out. Gets 3 assists and, Calder Trophy calling his name here by the end of the season.
Early lead. But yeah, he looked great on that top line. And that was probably the second combination we were thinking of. We probably wanted Johnston up there first. But, I mean, he fit in really well with that line, I felt like. Really good speed. Obviously, he's got that tenacity, that Energizer bunny that people talk about. And, I mean, obviously, he was fantastic. 3 points on the night, 3 apples. I mean, he was great. He played fantastic.
Yeah, you couldn't ask much more from him.
Well, that's the thing that we keep talking about with him is he's just a driver. He drives the play, and Dad was mentioning that he kind of looks like a busy bee out there, just annoying and is a pest in everything that he does. And he was a direct issue for the Nashville Predators tonight, and he was in on the first 3. Yeah. He was the reason why the first 3 goals were scored in the game here this evening. So
he's the shortest person on the ice and was by far had the biggest impact on the game.
I agreed. And it was obviously we saw it on the offensive side, and we did see some defensive side aspects from him tonight as well. Obviously not as big, but still very good game from him and a very good showing when more people are starting to kind of pay attention to him with all the hype that he has as his first full rookie season is starting this year. So the other couple of players that I thought were great tonight, Esa Lindell was fantastic for me. I know it doesn't really show it on the score sheet with a -1, but he did not deserve to be a -1 tonight. He was absolutely incredible for me defensively, which is I still don't understand why some people are complaining about the fact that he still got over $5 million with his extension. I'm like, you're not going to find another guy like him. And something I was thinking about was we basically had 2 Esa Lindells last year with Chris Tanev. He just gets so overshadowed because Chris Tanev was the big fish out in the trade market that people kind of overlooked Esa Lindell, and now he's right front and center defensively in the game tonight.
Yeah, if you want proof that plus minus is a terrible stat, I mean, this is proof of it. I mean, Lindell had a fantastic game tonight, especially on the penalty kill. So many fantastic plays on the penalty kill, not only breaking up passes and blocking shots, but also getting the puck cleared after he makes those plays too. I mean, I don't think he missed one clear on the penalty kill tonight, and he was on there 6 times.
He is the penalty kill and has been the penalty kill since he's been on the Stars.
Yep, he's fantastic.
It has been Esa and friends when it comes to the penalty kill. Kind of like how we talk about the D pairings. It has been Miro Heiskanen and friends for quite a while. So speaking of penalty kill, let's kind of segue into that a little bit. As good as Esa Lindell was tonight, I was super not impressed with special teams tonight on both sides of the puck. And I understand we still got the goal on the power play, and I understand it's still early, so I'm not being overly critical, but I mean, that's kind of our job, is to kind of look at this game and pick out the flaws and also point out the good things at the same time. But when it comes to the bad things, it was just not solid enough tonight, especially on the penalty kill. It looked like Swiss cheese.
And that's the thing that's going to look roughest to start the year too. I mean, if that's the thing that's bad, I mean, that's what's supposed to be bad right now, honestly.
Yeah, makes sense that special teams is the bad part to begin with. It wasn't terrible. Like, you look at our numbers, they're fine. But yeah, I agree. The eye test on the penalty kill was not great. I think we were being aggressive on the penalty kill, but I think it was not smartly aggressive. I mean, it was overextending when they had clear control of the puck and not attacking them after they bobbled the puck, if you know what I'm saying. So a little bit of overextension there, I feel like, on the penalty kill. That being said, our best penalty killer was fantastic, and Otter stood on his head on those penalty kills all night long. He was fantastic. And we get the goal in the power play. I'll take it. I mean, power play, I think, is the hardest thing, because you look at that top power play from the Predators, man, that is a terrifying unit now. That's probably the best unit on paper in the league, and held them to 1 of 6. Bigger thing for me is you can't take 6 penalties.
Oh yeah, that's terrible.
I still think there's one power play that's better than that. Can you think of what I'm thinking?
Or you could tell us.
Or you can just guess. It's more
Oilers.
fun. Oilers, yeah. I mean, when you've got, as bad as Bouchard is defensively, he's fantastic offensively. And then you got Draisaitl, Hyman, who scored basically over 60 goals over the calendar year last year. And then also, of course, Connor McDavid. So, I mean, but regardless, I agree with you, Chris, that power play with, especially now with Marchessault and Stamkos out there, it was scary. And the thing about it, and especially we'll talk about it a little bit, just the amount of chances that they had, that the Nashville Predators had, they should have scored more, and they should have probably won this game, in my opinion. That's just me.
But they didn't.
But they didn't.
They're bad.
There's really something to be said about that, honestly. I mean, the Stars are a team that went to 2 deep playoff runs. They know how to win games. Predators are kind of a taped together super team, and they're a super team still, for sure, but they haven't really learned how to win together yet. So I think there really is something to be said about that, especially early on in the season.
And if you want something that points out how much of a super team they really are, they have like 4 forwards with 20 minutes, north of 20 minutes. That's crazy.
Very top heavy. Crazy top heavy.
And then Yossi has almost 30.
Yeah.
And
the penalties help that too. So that definitely slants it a little bit, because the Stars actually look like they didn't roll 4 lines at all this game. And that's just because there's 10 power plays. But still, they are very top heavy.
Very Colorado-esque when we think about Rantanen, McKinnon, McCarr, those guys. So,
and Yossi was fantastic tonight. That dude is crazy. He looks guys having Stammer and Marchessault on his team.
Oh, absolutely. So moving on from that, on the other side of the puck when it comes to special teams, I don't want to say the power play was bad, but it wasn't synergist, if that's a word I can pull out of my butt. But like and again, that's going to come with time. It's going to come with more chemistry, especially. But I was a little bit more surprised that the power play didn't click as well compared to the penalty kill. I expected the penalty kill not to be all that great, because, you know, we've added Dumbo, we've added Lyubushkin. We saw Miro actually play on the penalty kill a little bit tonight too. So, I mean, it's 2 new guys and Miro, who didn't play at barely any penalty kill last year. So I expected that on the penalty kill side, but I expected the power play to be a little bit better. So again, it early in the season, it'll take time. It'll get there.
And I was listening to the ticket tonight, so I didn't actually watch any of the game, but I listened to the whole thing. And Razor actually completely disagrees with you there, Ryan. He gives a heavy edge to penalty kill early in the season, because most of the time you're waiting for those skill heavy guys to get up to speed and catch back up to games.
I was going to kind of disagree with you a little bit there, but now it looks like I'm copying James, but I'll do it anyway. I think your power play, you got to work on it more, because you're thinking through what your options are, figuring out what the best pass is, depending on how the defense is shaking up. When you're the penalty kill, you can just kind of react. The offense has to think about what they're doing a little bit more, in my opinion. So
And the top unit for the Stars on the power play especially looked a little rough. And I think part of that comes down to Robertson being kind of a catalyst of that and missing all of training camp. So
he got no practice on the penalty on the power play.
So
probably.
It's just, early season woes.
Yeah.
Ricky Spanish over here saying, stop copying James, Chris. Technically, James copied Razor, so you're agreeing with Razor, technically.
I'll take it.
I mean, right? I mean, logic, right? Okay. A couple of other players that we can kind of discuss tonight. Is there anybody that kind of stood out to you other than Logan Stankoven on the forward side?
The 2 goal scorer, Mason Marchment. I mean, Mushy is popping off again. Great start to this season for a guy who notoriously has bad starts. The past 2 years, he's had slow starts to the season. Night. His very first opening night, he did score.
He scored a goal last year too. It just got called back.
Okay. Well, that
it didn't get called back.
Mush always gets goals called back. But yeah, he was great. I mean, he definitely had the goal scorer touch tonight too. I think both of his goals were just like, I don't know. It just felt like he willed them in. I don't know how to explain that. He had the it tonight.
I think the second one, Wedgie probably wants that one back. But the first one, absolutely. That was a fantastic shot.
I mean, the second one's a good shot, too. I mean, it's savable for sure, but it's not like it's a bad shot.
Yeah. All the shooting tonight was, like, exceptionally good, which is something that, like, wasn't true in many other opening nights for teams.
I think the Stars...
Beautiful shots.
The Stars' first period hit a lot of glass. And even later on, they hit a lot of glass, too. I think we could have easily made the shots at least a little bit closer tonight, but, man, we painted a lot of corners.
Yeah, when you're shooting high and it's open. Oh.
We lost you, Chris. We lost you, bud. Sorry. It looked like you were saying a really good point there. Yeah. We might need to get you a different mic. I don't know what's going on with your mic.
Or a new cord. Maybe it's just the cord.
Maybe it's just a cord. Yeah, I don't know. Hey, that's the new shtick for the season. It's no longer my internet. It's Chris's mic cord. Okay.
I'm tired of this crap.
How do you think?
I tried so many different cords. Stupid mic. Dunzo. I'm getting one tomorrow.
Do it. Okay. Anyways, overall, I thought that the Stars did very well in the second period. I think that was our best period by far. We were very opportunistic tonight, which when you're on the road and you've got a goalie like Ottinger who can play well like that, and you play solid enough defensively in front of him, then you can do that and you can be more opportunistic with your chances. I just didn't like the amount of chances that we gave up on top of the few chances we were getting. And yes, we took advantage of the ones that we had. But, if Saros is in net, I think he saves at least one of those.
Yeah, probably too. And I really like, and that's what kind of sucks, is I like the way the Stars played 5-on-5 tonight. The problem is we had almost 15 minutes that wasn't 5-on-5. So, I mean, the 6-on-5, we looked really bad. I mean, should have gave up 2 on the 6-on-5, which is crazy. And we already talked about the penalty kill. Wasn't fantastic at times, but yeah, 5-on-5, we look good. And that's the most comforting thing to me. So moving forward, you just got to not take 6 penalties a game, which shouldn't be too hard.
Ardell over here. Pavelski is most missed on the power play. 5-on-5, not so much. That is absolutely true right there. He's... And that's something that we very slightly kind of hinted at in the last couple of episodes, that I think someone needs to step up there. And I think that person is Jamie Benn. I think he needs to step up on the power play, especially, and be that net front guy, or, someone has got to step up, somebody. So we'll have to wait and see who kind of takes that spot as the net front guy on the power play. But I mean, logically, it's Jamie Benn. That's been his strong suit the last couple of years. So, okay, let's talk about Matt Dumba. There is mostly some negativity towards him tonight. Not obviously not because he's Matt Dumba, but because of his play here this evening. But what did y'all see? What do you think about Matt Dumba's play tonight?
I mean, it's some good and some bad, and I feel like that's kind of what we were expecting from Dumba. I like him being physical and making physical plays. I don't like that he only has one move out of his zone, and it's shoot it off the near side half wall, shoot it off the near side half wall. I saw him do it 4 times in a row one time. I mean, it's crazy. Find a different move. But and the 2 penalties obviously really suck. I mean, they were obviously penalties. They were bad, and yeah,
especially from someone who, like, you just need him to be kind of invisible, and at least on the score sheet, you need him to be completely invisible. That is something that he cannot continue to do, is take penalties. That's going to hurt the team a lot.
I was about to say Matt Dumba be invisible. I don't think that's going to happen, especially physically. But I didn't necessarily. The first penalty I thought was a little ticky tacky. The second one was obviously really stupid, in my opinion. Like, he obviously held the guy's stick. I was just like, okay, Dumba, that was really stupid of you to do that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know if the first one was ticky-tacky. With the way the refs were calling this game, I think that was clearly a penalty. I thought it was a well-called game by the refs, honestly. I thought it was too many penalties, but they were consistent with what they called.
Well, I mean, it always starts off like this. They always call too many at the beginning of the season, and they always have, like, the one penalty that they look at more into. Like, a couple years ago, it was slashing, and, like, a little baby tap on, like, the shoulder pads would be considered, not the shoulder pads, excuse me, the shin pads would be considered a penalty. And then, like, it was cross-checking the next year, and any period there, anything there would be considered immediate, even if it was, like, a little one. I don't know, but regardless of the penalties, what did y'all see from him, especially on the penalty kill, since that's probably going to be the place where he's going to be most used when it comes to special teams?
I liked him all right on the penalty kill. I thought he was physical around the net and boxed people out pretty well. I think he's a little. He really errs on taking the guy on the far side post, even when the guy with the puck has a free lane to the net. And I think he did that a little bit too much tonight, and that's part of what gave the Preds a little bit too much chances. I think he's got to come out and attack that a little bit earlier, but it wasn't awful, I don't think. I thought it was pretty good.
I don't know. It's just something you wish that you don't have to nitpick him so much, because he's with Miro Heiskanen for most of the night, but he was just not, he didn't have a great night. And that's probably not going to be something that's consistent. It's his only his second game playing with Miro Heiskanen. He's going to get better at it. So, but it's just something he's going to have to grow on.
Now, one thing that I did like is that, and talking about Miro here, with Miro paired with Dumba tonight, we did see a couple of instances where Miro took it to the house, especially in the offensive zone, and just went for it, which is exactly what you want to see him do if he's on his strong side. That's why Matt Dumba is on the right side with Miro Heiskanen, is to allow things like that to happen every once in a while and see if he can stretch the ice a little bit, especially north-south. So that was really fantastic. You talked about boxing people out, Chris, with Dumba. Let's talk about Nils Lundqvist. Great segue there. I thought he had a really good game tonight, considering, how much pressure was on him to kind of come out and show that he could be that guy playing with Esa Lindell. And again, he played with Esa Lindell. He played more than he did in the playoffs, which, again, it's regular season, so it's not as crucial as playoffs. But he still played about 12 to 13 minutes tonight, which is very good for a number 6 guy.
Well, and the only reason he doesn't play more is because of all the special teams, and he's not playing power play or penalty kill. He would have been up at least at 15 if it was a normal game. He did a lot of really good stuff. I thought he was a lot more physical around the net. We saw early on in the playoffs last year, he got pushed around in front of the net, and that's really what I thought led to him getting basically benched in the playoffs, is because he just wasn't physical enough. And he was out muscling people in front of the net, boxing people out really well. I saw him looking for offensive chances when he was in the offensive zone. He was making good cuts when he thought he might have a lane opening up, which is exactly what we want him to do. If he's going to stay in the lineup, he's got to show that offensive upside, and he's got to be a danger. He's got to be a goal scorer. He's got to be somebody that people look over their shoulder to try and find. But that penalty sucked. That was a really bad penalty.
Yeah. The penalty was the worst point on his night. Especially only playing 12 minutes, tough to take a penalty. But like Chris said with the offensive side, that was something that I could hear while I was listening to the game too. And normally from Lundqvist, it's not great stuff, but hearing him trying to go in and make plays is something that we have to see consistently, and him not be afraid to go and do that part of the game, because that's the part that he's best at.
Yep, he was confident doing it, I thought, tonight.
And there were two particular instances tonight when he was boxing people out defensively that I absolutely loved. And the first one was obviously in his front of his own net. And, he's smaller than most guys in the NHL. He's 5'11". He's smaller than most guys. Most guys are like 6 foot and above nowadays, it seems like. And he tore one guy down to the ice, didn't let him get to the net after a shot. And then the one I was really impressed with was Philip Forsberg tried to go around him, and he didn't allow it to happen. He looked like Esa Lindell on that particular play and played it absolutely perfectly defensively and did not let Forsberg get around him and forced him to the corner. So I want to see more of that from Nils Lundqvist. And I agree with you on the penalty. Yes, I wish he hadn't taken that penalty. But as far as, the fact that we've mostly seen negative things kind of protrude from Nils Lundqvist, it was really nice to see him. I got to give him credit for those two particular plays tonight.
Yeah, and I'm going to give him
misinformation by Ryan.
He's 2 more inches. He's 6'1".
He's no way.
He's 6'1".
He is officially listed as 6'1".
That's what's so confusing about him, because when
I
you
swear
see
he
him
was
out on
listed
the
as
ice,
5'11".
when you see him out on the ice, he looks small. Like, people bully him all the time.
But he
also, that's something he can change.
What did they say during the offseason? Like, he gained 10 or 20 pounds during the offseason. Like, he got bigger this year too. So that was definitely something that he took note of during the offseason and made a point to get better at. And I think it helped him tonight. So overall good. Penalty sucked. Can't happen.
Okay, other new guy to the Dallas Stars. We saw Lyubushkin here tonight. I thought he was okay. Nothing to really complain about. There was a couple of instances, but he had some really good defensive plays as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of similar to Dumba in my opinion. Like, he had some good plays. I liked him being physical. He had some good big hits. I mean, we would never see those hits on the Stars last year, so I like having a little bit more meat back there. But, I mean, the second goal, that's just a terrible pinch, especially when we have him paired with Thomas Harley. We want Harley to be having the confidence in his D pair to push forward and make those pinches. Harley pinched first.
Lost him again.
I don't know
Sorry,
what's
Chris.
happening with his mic.
He's
gonna smash this mic after.
I know,
I swear.
right?
But yeah, Lyubushkin had a decent night. I mean, the big thing for me with him is the penalty killing. He played 6.5 minutes. Basically, it was him and Lindell killing most of the penalties. And from that's kind of what I want from him. He played kind of how I expected him to. He's not going to be great. The problem with Dumba for me is we expect more from him because he's playing with Heiskanen. That's it. That's my only difference between the two.
I'm literally throwing this mic in the trash right after this episode. I'm not even joking. I'm going to videotape it and put it on the Discord.
You did a big boy job now.
I was making a great point. Everybody stop. I was saying Harley pinched first on that second goal that the Preds got. And I'm fine with Harley pitching because I want him to go score. But then Lyubushkin pinched as well, and I don't want him to do that. I almost never want Lyubushkin to pinch. I want him to be the safety net for Harley to try and score.
He's not an offensive dude either.
Like, no, he should not be doing that in the neutral zone.
Okay, so agreed. But he there, and again, it's just one play that I remember. It was in the third period. He did take it down into the offensive zone and kind of pushed it a little bit there. So I did appreciate that. That was one time. And I want to see him do that more, but he needs to be focused on the defensive side.
Long term, that's not his job, though. Long term is you make Harley feel good.
Yeah, it should never be his job. He has 350 games in the NHL and 47 points. So that's not his job.
There's a reason why he's still in the league and only has 47 points.
Yes, exactly. Now, that's the point.
Now, really quick, you were talking about the second goal there, and yes, Harley pinched, and that's what he's supposed to do there. Now, and I can't believe I'm going to do this, but it wasn't just Lyubushkin who was at fault there on the defensive coverage. Yeah. It was also Wyatt Johnston who,
when you're the last defenseman back, though,
That's why I'm putting it more on him.
No,
but everybody
and I'm
pinched
not,
in the neutral zone there.
Yes.
Yeah, everyone collapsed.
That's how you
So
get a breakaway.
it was just a lapse in defensive coverage for one goal, and it was three different instances. It was Harley missed the pinch. Wyatt Johnston was kind of roamed to the corner, or not the corner, but the corner of the zone, the offensive zone by the blue line. And then Labushkin was out of, he was not in defensive coverage like he should have been. So whatever. Game's over. We won 4-3. We'll leave it up at that. Any kind of other things that we need to talk about here tonight?
I mean, my kind of final takeaway is that it was a good road game other than taking 6 penalties. If we didn't take 6 penalties, this game is so much easier.
Yep. That's pretty much all I got for it too.
All right. Well, when it comes to shots on goal, first off, 8-4 for Nashville in the first, 13-7 in the second, 15-9 in the third, 36-20 overall in shots on goal. And that's something I don't want to see be a trend, because we did kind of see that a little bit last year. But
this is a tough game too. I mean, you're talking about the Predators, who just have all these acquisitions in the offseason. It's game one. They're in their home barn. They want to win that game. Every single time they want to win that game more than any other stupid regular season game. It should be a proving game for them. And the Stars, I mean, if the first period didn't have as many penalties as it did, the Stars would have taken over the game pretty quickly. And that's what it comes down. I mean, they fought in the game. They survived the first period somehow, and then took it to them in the second, and then held the lead the rest of the way.
Random kind of thought, were you surprised at the lack of animosity in this game? I expected a little bit more for the first game of the season.
No, I think these are two high-skilled teams that want to skill. They don't want to fight, really, in my opinion.
They still hate each other, though.
I don't know if they hate each other very much anymore. The Stars kind of dominated them since the Winter Classic. So
yeah, that's kind of true.
It was even last year, but we did kind of, when we won against them, it was that comeback with like 13 seconds left. And then it was 9-4.
Well, no, that was the 9-2 win. You know, honestly, you know what? They should be thanking us, other than the whole canceling the U2 concert thing.
We put them in the playoffs.
Right, exactly. Ever since then, they actually got legit. We should raise a banner.
We should get some of that ticket sales. Oh, there you go. Yeah. Dallas Stars put the Predators in the playoffs last year.
All right. I mean, just looking at the score sheet real quick, Marchment, 2 goals. That was a standout. Logan Stankoven obviously leads the way scoring-wise with 3 assists.
Do you not know how this
biggest winners,
works,
biggest
Ryan?
Losers, Ryan? That's when we talk about that stuff.
I'm getting there.
No, you're taking away our thunder.
No, I'm not. There's one other thing I wanted to talk about, and it has to deal with the stats, okay? The one other thing, I was getting there, and y'all did complain about it.
Well, you're stealing our thunder. We're going to get angry.
Okay. Anyways, what I was going to point out as I was moving my way down the list, thank you a lot, was the face-off wins. That was Joe completely 100% read my mind. That was a little strange. And I know that Joe Pavelski is not on this team anymore, and he could win face-offs and was very good when needed to be. But a lot of these guys on this team are still very good at faceoffs. Wyatt Johnston has improved in that aspect. Jamie Benn has always been an almost 60+% guy on the faceoff dot. And it wasn't very good tonight. And again, first game of the season, it's probably gonna get better from here. And it's just something that needed to be pointed out. I want to see improve.
And that's with our better center lineup, honestly. If you think Bork is healthy and Bork is centering a line with Ben and Johnson's not taking as many draws, we're probably even worse on the faceoff dot. So might be something to keep an eye on moving forward.
This is one of the things where you're like, oh, right, Radek Faksa used to play on this team.
Yep.
It's like you don't realize how many draws he won until he's gone. And we'll probably see a decent amount of that throughout the season, especially with the fourth line being out there. You're going to see we're not going to win those draws. I mean, it's just not going to happen.
Yeah, Sam Steele, 25% tonight.
if he's going to be the guy that's going to center that fourth line, which I think he's probably going to be, although I think they had back there tonight, which
Oscar
was
back 25%.
Still. So maybe they were just trying out different things to see who would be better in neither one. But last question, we'll do biggest winner, biggest loser. When Bork does get back into the lineup, do we see Logan Stankoven come off the top line and they throw Wyatt Johnson up there, and then we see that trio of Ben, Stankoven, and Bork?
Not right now.
Not right
That's
now.
what
Yep.
Exactly. That's what based off of what we saw tonight, I would run with it. I mean, just say, sorry guys, Stankoven, you're staying up there. Bork, you're gonna take the Donald spot on that third line, and we'll see you late in a little bit.
If Stankoven keeps clicking with the top line, your centers are Rope Hintz, Wyatt Johnston, and Tyler Seguin.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's
or
stupid.
Duchesne.
Yeah,
or Duchesne.
Either way, who cares? Yeah, your centers look a lot better if you can keep Johnson off the top line. That's for sure.
Okay, biggest winner, biggest loser tonight. Ricky is already ahead of us. The biggest winner is the goalpost. That is absolutely true, especially in the last minute of the third period there. So we need to get some Marc-Andre Fleury magic and say thank you to the goalposts tonight of Jake Ottinger. Who y'all got as the biggest winner?
I'm going to give mine to Jason Robertson. You know, coming off of an injury like that, and then he's not even skating till like 2 weeks ago. He was not in practice at all. Comes into the first game, you can't even tell. You can't even tell, dude. What does this dude eat?
He's got Michael's secret stuff for sure. My biggest winner is Mason Marchment. I mean, scoring touch. He was fantastic tonight. That whole line, the Seguin, Marchment, Duchesne line, just clicks. They just know how to get stuff done. They look so good tonight.
I'm surprised y'all didn't take the obvious one. I was going to give it to Essa because I was expecting y'all to give it to Logan, but I'll give it to Logan Stankoven. 3 assists and freaking Celebrini. Nate with the update for us. He's already got a goal and an assist in the first period. Freaking Celebrini, don't you dare. Don't you dare steal the thunder of our Stinky. But anyways, he's my
goal too. Ooh, wow.
Anyways, I'll give it to Logan Stankoven with an honorable mention to Essa Lindell. Who is your biggest loser here tonight, guys?
I'll take Dumba. I'll do it. I mean, 2 penalties. I didn't think he looked great on the top pair. Yeah, I mean, this game felt like it was obvious that the right side of our defense is much worse than the left, and that's not what we want to see.
I think I'm going to give mine to Steele because, you know, normally he plays better than he did tonight. I mean, it wasn't like a terrible night, but when you have like Bach on the line with you and you have Blackwell with you, like you're probably the best player on that line, and it didn't feel like that tonight. I mean, he can do a lot better than he showed.
Agreed.
Well, and the reason you think that is because of the raised expectations that we have of him this year compared to last year. Like last year, he was just, oh, okay, seems like a guy who could be good. And then he came in and he surprised us. Like we didn't expect him to score a whole bunch of goals, and he didn't. But when he did fill in on the third line, he was quite good. He was very good, especially with the whole motor aspect and being a driver on that line.
Yeah. Also, there's no more Radek Foxa, so you are the option.
Yes, that's pretty much it. So for me, I think I hate to do it because I love him absolutely to death, but it's Scott Wedgwood. I feel so bad for him, and in multiple different aspects, right? Like this whole, being the opening night, starting goaltender. I don't think he knew this a week ago. I think this was fairly recent.
Knew it yesterday.
Yeah, and maybe he did know it yesterday, and we don't know that for sure. But we're speculating a little bit. But he leaves his former team in Dallas through not his own choice, but he goes to Nashville, and then he allows 4 goals, and the 4th one he probably would want back, and that ends up being the game winner. So that's why I'll give it to him.
What's up with the whole Central stealing our former players? I mean, last year it was Colorado. They have like 3 or 4 stars now. And this year it's the Blues and the Predators. They both pick up 2 stars. I mean, the Predators stole Matt Murray and Scott Wedgwood. They took both of them. And then the Blues have...
And they were both on the roster tonight for Nashville. That's just weird.
The rest of the Central gets our scrap.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough.
One random thing. I don't know if you heard about this, but did you hear that Riley Tufte made the opening night roster for the Boston Bruins?
I did see that.
Oh, nice.
I don't know. Yeah, I know that that
him.
perfectly fits, right? I mean,
Yeah, pretty
he's a giant human being. He's a Boston Bruin, right? And it just makes sense. So, okay, I think that's it for us here this evening. Anything else?
Nope, I think that's good.
We will probably forget about this game in a week, and we'll be on to other games here moving forward. They don't ask how you did it, they just ask how many, and that's the way to look at this game here tonight. And things are only going to get better here, in my opinion. And the season has officially started for the 2024-2025 season. We are so stoked to start this adventure with you guys here on this podcast. Thank you again for everyone who has been following live with us this evening. Thank you to DraftKings Sportsbook and Game Time for being our sponsors. Again, that promo code is THPN. SarcasticRemarks.com is the website. SarcasticRemarksShop.com is the merch store. That's the best way to support us in what we do. Follow us on social media at SarcasticR everywhere. If you're listening on the audio side, please consider leaving us a 5-star review anywhere you are listening to this podcast. Any kind of listening platform, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, yada, yada, yada. And as always, along with Chris and along with James, my name is Ryan. We will catch you guys on the flip side. And for the first time this regular season, Chris, can you please do us the favor and take us out?
We take those. GG, boys.